We've been on quite the journey of leaks with the upcoming Google hardware. At this upcoming event, sometime in the early part of this year, we will be seeing the Pixel 7a and also a brand new Pixel tablet. Now, they've actually shown us pictures of this thing already. We've seen a little bit about what it's going to be doing, the way it sits on a speaker dock. But in this video, we're going to dive into something that's fairly interesting to me. Hopefully, it'll be interesting to you as well. An update on the Pixel tablet, more specs, photos, and info about the Pro version. If you remember, as this has been going on, and shout out to Kuba here for the leaks that they continue to produce, and the manner that they get these leaks is very, very impressive to me. And again, thank you for providing this information that I'm able to bring to my audience and talk to them about it. If you've been following this for a while, though, as I was saying, there was always talk of a Pro version of the Pixel tablet. So let's scroll down a little bit here, and we're going back to September 8th of 2022, and we were talking about how there was a T6 Pro or a Tangor Pro. Now, Tangor was the code name for the Pixel tablets. We've been seeing Tangor popping up in these breakdowns of APKs or of Android releases, so forth and so on for a while. And then suddenly, hey, now there's not just Tangor or T6, there's Tangor Pro. So there was this thought we were going to be getting not just a Pixel tablet, but a Pixel Tablet Pro, right? So this made some sense. But Kuba, and I keep saying that that's how the name is pronounced, but I may be wrong. Maybe it's Kuba. I have no idea. I don't even know how to begin to pronounce this last name. So I'm going to keep going with what I've been saying, and it may be wrong, and if it is, I apologize. As it turns out, they say Google initially created Tangor, or T6, with a first-generation Tensor chip. So that was the Tensor chip that we saw in the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6a. Great phones and a pretty decent system on a chip. Since then, we've moved on to the Tensor G2, which is what is in the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro. It is a faster, more advanced version of that. And the project now, the Tangor Pro, that's basically what this is. It's that same tablet running the Tensor G2. So today, this morning, as you see articles being posted about the Pixel Tablet Pro, be armed with knowledge. There is no Pixel Tablet Pro. There was only the Pixel Tablet. And in fact, the only reason it was called the Pro was because through development, they eventually decided to move on from the Tensor to the Tensor G2. And the way they differentiated these in their code names was by calling one the Pro. But there will not be a first-gen Tensor version release. So you can't really call it a Pro if it's the only one. Well, I guess you can. Maybe if you're Apple, call everything Pro. Who cares? It's only a word anyway. They go on to reiterate the only major difference between what we saw before and this quote-unquote Pro version is the upgraded Tensor G2. Thanks to an anonymous source, they're also getting some further specs. The unit, as tested, had 8 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM, 256 storage, and a side fingerprint reader. The device has a 2560 by 1600 display. And very, very interestingly, we have some additional photos here to look at. So let's take a look at them. This is the Pixel tablet sitting on top of its speaker stand. If you don't know, this thing is a tablet that docks onto the stand with some magnets and some pogo pins in the back that basically turns it into a gigantic Google Home hub, which is very, very interesting. See the power port where that plugs in there. It appears to be a barrel plug, which is kind of a bummer, but it probably needs a good amount of power to run that, fairly large speaker. So maybe that's why they decided to go with the barrel plug instead of going with a higher power USB-C plug. Let's go to the next one, another angle here. Not the thinnest tablet in the world, but I think it looks relatively okay. Maybe the camera is up there on that corner. It's very dark there, but I'm assuming that that's a camera there. Maybe a volume rocker up there. Maybe a speaker grill on that side. Yep, there's your camera there. Going to the next screen, fairly large bezels, right? Like they're definitely not trying to have no bezels, which I'm actually fine with. And this is in line with what we've seen with the Pixel Fold, which apparently does have bezels top and bottom, which I think is good for ergonomics. You want to be able to hold the thing, right? It's a very large screen. Holding it's easier with the bezel. I am disappointed with the aspect ratio. Boy, oh boy, do I wish this thing was taller or in this orientation wider than it is. It's going to have the same problem as the Galaxy Tab for me, that it's just not the aspect ratio that I want it to be. They also mention in a final tweet that this speaker dock is not the only dock you're going to be able to have with this thing. There's apparently also another dock that only charges. It doesn't actually have the speaker capabilities. So all of this stuff, very, very interesting as we become better and better in focus looking at the Google Pixel tablet. Like I said before, shout out to this leaker on Twitter. I will link to this thread so you can look at all this stuff firsthand yourself. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button before you go. Guys, I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.